Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about relationships, and I'm going to talk about doing a relationship tune-up. Now I know in some states we're kind of coming out of the pandemic, or a better way to put that is we are starting to do more things as things open up. The pandemic and the coronavirus hasn't gone away. I do know, though, that people are starting to do things that they haven't been doing in a while. So we're all coming out of being locked down, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So I thought it would be good to take a few minutes and just talk about how to do a relationship checkup or tune-up. And the reason why we're doing this is because we went, a year ago, we went from having the freedom to kind of do our own thing, to having to quarantine and lock up and kind of put ourselves in a situation where we were learning a whole bunch of things about our spouse or partner that maybe we didn't know before, or we were spending a lot of time together that we weren't used to. And in my other videos, I talk a lot about how to create this balance of independence and togetherness in our relationship. And we need both. We need our independent time where we're refueling and re-energizing, just like we need healthy togetherness time where we're doing things that really nurturing your relationship or marriage. And then, a lot of things that I'm hearing during the pandemic is that, you were kind of learning how your partner talked around the water cooler at work over a Zoom meeting, or, just getting to know different things about your partner. But because it's been a whole year, you guys have both adjusted to a different way of living or being, whether it's been a really good thing for your relationship or it's really caused a lot of relationship strain. Now there's been another change, another wave of this, like, okay, now people are starting to do more things, whether it's, going out on a walk or going to a restaurant with no mask on once you get there, or, starting to organize or do things with friends, attending weddings, you're starting to reintegrate. So it means another change or another wave, even in your relationship. Sometimes when we've been doing something for so long, we get into this routine of things. And now we're going to create a different routine. And in some couples, this might cause some anxiety because there might be things that you just don't want to go back to that was happening in your relationship. For those couples who maybe your relationship has really grown and gotten stronger, there might be some anxiety about, well, as we kind of step out and start to do our own thing, are we going to lose out on how we were coming together and nurturing our relationship and doing new things together as a couple? And then there are other couples who maybe it was a great relationship strain that are kind of excited to be able to go out and nurture some independent time while they kind of reorganize how they want to nurture their relationship. So here is some suggestions. The first thing I would do is have a couples meeting or make your own dinner or go out to dinner or whatever you're comfortable with, and sit down and kind of talk to your partner, even your partner, talk together about what are some things that we've learned throughout this whole pandemic. I know I've talked about this before, but I think this is important. What did we learn about ourselves independently, and what did we learn about our relationship? So that's one thing I would do. The second thing I would do is talk about what did we like? What were some things that we created in our routine that we really like that is regarding our relationship? Did we create some rituals of connection? Dr. John Gottman talks a lot about the importance of creating these rituals that really nurture your marriage or your relationship. These are the little things that you do every day that really help celebrate your relationship. So did we create some rituals over this pandemic that we really appreciate? And also, if you didn't, this would be a great time to think about what are some rituals of connection that we want to create. Little ways that you turn towards each other and connect to one another. And I have a couple of videos on that I'll post a link to. So, that's one thing. The other thing is, are there some things that we know we could do better? And this is, if there was a lot of conflict and maybe you guys got caught in some perpetual issues over the pandemic, It's really learning, okay, what were some of those really heated conflicts, and how do we want to learn how to manage them better? And remember, guys, the first stage of working through conflict or managing it is listening to understand one another, not listening to react or respond, not fighting to be right. It's listening to understand. How does my partner see this issue? Is this a solvable or a perpetual problem? And again, I have some of those videos already posted. And, so it's kind of just what you're doing in this couples meeting is identifying what we learned, what we liked, and what can we improve on or do a little bit better. And so I think that's a really good thing to sit down as you're starting to embrace a new change of this pandemic and in the reopening. So, anytime there's change to a routine, it can create some anxiety or just maybe some frustration. So it's good to talk through, is there anything so that's another thing to talk about. Is there anything you're concerned about or maybe fearful about as we go through a new kind of wave of this or transition in our relationship? Being able to express or identify some fears helps you actually come closer together, because it helps you work through them, even if it just means that you're empathizing and validating how you both feel. So I think that's another important aspect of a relationship tune-up. What have I learned? What are some rituals of connection we can create together as we transition? What are some things that we can do a little bit better, as well as any fears or concerns, and anything that we're excited about as we kind of shift or change or transition in our relationship. So those are some things that I would absolutely kind of sit down and talk with your partner about. The other thing is, if you guys find that you're kind of stuck in this pattern or loop of conflict or irritation, then I think it would be good to ask for help. It's always okay to ask for help from a therapist or, something just to kind of give you a therapeutic intervention or some, a little tune-up more than this video. So I think that that's okay too. I also think when you're looking at how to give your relationship a little tune-up, it's important to do some individual self-care. Remember, when we are taking care of ourselves, we're also taking care of the relationship. If I can show up in my relationship in a healthier space, refueled and re-energized, I can also take care of the relationship in a healthier space. And if I'm nurturing the relationship in a healthy way, I'm also nurturing myself in a healthy way. So self-care is actually a really good thing when you're looking at embracing the relation or doing this kind of relationship tune-up or making improvements to your relationship. So just like I was saying at the beginning of this video, creating some new rituals of connection for your relationship as you walk into this new phase of the pandemic and reopening. You also need to do some things for yourself as well. Now, I get, you might say, well, we have kids and we have jobs and it feels like we're just going back to more of the same. Remember, you guys can give each other the gift of presence. Being there for one another, doesn't always take a lot of time. Now, I get sometimes you might need to slow down, but, giving the gift of presence means you're listening, means you're maybe giving some bits of affection or appreciation, or even some of that empathy and validation. I'm here, I'm listening, I'm present, I'm connected to you. So that's the other thing is, if you feel like you're just going back to the business of life again, remember to give the gift of presence to one another, and maybe learn your partners and learn your own love language. Dr. Gary Chapman said, in the love language, love is a choice. We choose. How do we choose to love each other? And that's one thing that you guys could give every day that doesn't require much. I have a whole video on the 5 love languages as well. So these are some quick things you can do that help you kind of say, hey, let's do this relationship tune-up or check-up to see how we're doing and how we're going to be best prepared as we step into this new phase of the pandemic and really kind of reopening. So have that couples meeting, or have a dinner together or something where you're turning off phones and things, What have we learned? What sort of rituals are we creating that we created or that we want to create as we reopen? What are some things that need improvement? You know, how are we kind of working through those improvements together? You know, and I would say giving kind of the gifts of presence to one another, and just looking at, you know, what are some ways that we can really turn towards one another and celebrate this relationship as we continue to grow together. All right, guys, I hope you found this video to be useful and helpful. Please subscribe to my channel for weekly updates all about relationships, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.